What would you do if the person you trusted most shattered your world just as you were preparing to bring new life into it? I was 7 months pregnant, my belly swollen with our daughter, when I found out about Jake's betrayal. The man I loved, the father of my unborn child, had been living a lie. Another woman, someone I'd never met, was carrying his child too. The discovery hit like a tidal wave, drowning me in disbelief, pain, and questions I wasn't ready to answer. But life, as I learned, has a way of balancing the scales. Jake and I had been together for 5 years, building a life in our cozy apartment in Chicago. We'd planned for this baby, our little Emma, picking out names, painting the nursery, dreaming of her first steps. I was 28, a graphic designer with a steady freelance gig, and Jake, 30, was climbing the corporate ladder at a marketing firm. He was charming, ambitious, the kind of man who could light up a room. I thought we were solid, unbreakable. But cracks had started to show, ones I'd ignored. Late nights at work, vague excuses, a distance in his eyes I couldn't quite place. It was a rainy Tuesday when the truth unraveled. I was scrolling through my phone, waiting for Jake to get home, when a message popped up from an unknown number. "You deserve to know," it read, followed by a photo of a woman, her hand resting on a pregnant belly, and Jake's arm around her. My heart stopped. The message was from her Lila, a co-worker of Jake's. She'd found out about me and refused to stay silent. She was 4 months along, and Jake had known for weeks, stringing us both along. I confronted him that night. He didn't deny it. His excuses were weak, his apologies hollow. "It was a mistake," he said, as if that could erase the betrayal. I felt my world collapse, but I couldn't let it break minute with Emma growing inside me. I told him to leave, and he did, moving in with Lila. I was alone, pregnant, and heartbroken, but I refused to let his choices define me. The months that followed were a blur of survival. I leaned on my sister, Mia, who became my rock, helping me prepare for Emma's arrival. I threw myself into work, designing with a ferocity that kept the pain at bay. But the hurt lingered, a sharp ache that flared every time I saw a couple or heard Jake's name. I wondered how he could move on so easily, how he could build a new life, while I pieced mine back together. Emma was born on a crisp autumn morning, her tiny cries filling the hospital room with hope. Holding her, I felt a strength I didn't know I had. She was my purpose, my reason to keep going. I vowed to give her a life full of love, even if it was just the two of us. But karma, as they say, has a way of catching up. 6 months later, I heard from a mutual friend that Jake's world was falling apart. Lila had left him, taking their son with her, after discovering he'd been unfaithful to her too with yet another woman. His job, the one he prioritized over everything, was gone. A major client had pulled out after Jake mishandled a project, his focus scattered by his tangled personal life. He was living in a cheap rental, alone, his charm and ambition buried under the weight of his choices. I saw him once, by chance, at a coffee shop. He looked older, worn, the spark in his eyes dulled. He tried to apologize again, but I stopped him. "I don't need your apologies," I said. "I have Emma, and she's enough." I walked away, my heart lighter than I expected. His mistakes had cost him everything: his family, his career, his pride. Karma hadn't just hit him, it had leveled him. Now, 2 years later, Emma and I are thriving. I've built a small design business, and our apartment is filled with laughter and love. I've learned that betrayal, as painful as it is, can be a catalyst. It forced me to find my own strength, to redefine family on my terms. Jake's story is a cautionary tale, a reminder that actions have consequences. But mine? It's a story of resilience, of choosing love over bitterness, and of building a future brighter than the past.